case there's something you need to clarify or need to watch it again, because I might go a little faster than you would like. So for 1A, you can still do the check, right? Like correct it, see how you did overall. So the sum of interior angles, we realized that this is an 11-sided polygon. So you should get 1620, and make sure you have degrees, because I would take off half a mark if it's not there. I would put U for units next to it. The measure of each interior angle, we just started, Sadie. The measure of each interior angle, all you need to do is take the top number divided by the number of sides, so it's 147.27. The measure of each exterior angle, show two methods. So if you get the 32.73, that's 1 mark. And then for using the other method, which for me was subtracting it from 180, right? Subtracting that interior angle that you just got from 180 to get the same answer. So it'd be 1 and then half a mark for that. Okay. And then there was label I, E, and C. So I want you to clearly on this diagram have one central angle labeled, one interior, and one exterior. They don't have to be next to each other. Like for example, if you wanted to have the exterior up here, I'm fine with that. Just remember, you start on one side and you just keep traveling out, right? You missed your turn kind of thing, you just keep going straight. And so that would be half a mark for each one of those done correctly. So there's that. Maybe I'll switch over to this one because this key here shows both methods. So there are two methods of finding the number of sides given the interior angle. So there's the longer method, right, where I multiply both sides by n, right? Both sides have to be multiplied by n, canceling that n in the denominator. And then I already distribute right away on my next step, right? You see that? So I'll be looking for something like that. And then we subtract. Oh, I bring the 180 over, right? It's negative. And you end up with negative 7.5 n. So you have to divide both sides by negative 7.5 to get 48. Alternatively, if you chose to do it this method, look at how much shorter this is, right? You're like, oh, I know my interior. I'll find the exterior, use that exterior angle here, and these formulas 360 divided by n, so it's really just a proportion, right? And you solve for 48, so 48 sides nonetheless. You have to show the work to get the 2 marks, okay? If you just come out with 48, not good enough, because I know you can plug in numbers until you get it, right? Next, you have to get the full mark. I did tell you that you can only use each explanation once. I don't know if you read that. So there are ways of doing that. So what I did is I started with x here, vertically opposite, right? So that was my first journey kind of to get that. My second is to get y. I don't know if you saw that, but these are actually corresponding. Ignore what's in between. Just follow that transversal to the other parallel line, right? Focus always on the parallel lines and the transversal that connects it. So x and y would be corresponding. It's not corresponding to this one. 123 is there to kind of trick you. Sorry. Right? X and y. So corresponding angles. And then I had a triangle here. No, wait, did I need the triangle to get z? Oh, yeah, to get z, I had a triangle. So sum of triangles 180. And then the last one I did was m, which is the straight angle, right, property, because there is a straight line. So feel free to extend lines if you need to do that, right, to make it work. So that would be actually 8 marks, right? So that would be 1 mark for each correct number, and then 1 mark for each correct explanation. And of course, if you did it differently, you will have different explanations. If you did it in a different order, that there is perhaps a way to do it. I see it difficult to do it a different way, but maybe I don't know all the options. Okay, so next page. Maybe I'll do this from scratch here. Okay. So what I wanted you to see here is that this is an equilateral triangle. You see that? And so this is 60, 60, 60. So I will put the 60 here because that's where I'm interested. That's what I'm interested in. As soon as I find that 60, my red pen, I know that around this point here, it's what? 360 degrees, right? So to get this here, I'm going to call that A for now. I will just go angle A is equal to 360 minus the 60 minus the 250. Right? Follow what I'm doing here? 360, right? Remember, at any given point, you can go 360 around. That's a reflex angle right there, right? So this is 300 minus 250, that's 50, right? So that's the first step to get to x, right? So now that I have this 50, what else do I know? I know that this angle is also 50. Do you agree with me? Because it's an isosceles. I always told you, look at the angles across the congruent sides to figure out. So now that you have 50 and 50, this is 80, correct? So angle X would be 180 minus 2 times 50, if you'd like, right? So that's just 80 degrees. So I would give you 1 mark for figuring out the 50 and another mark for figuring out the 80. So yeah, keep that in mind. You knew everything you needed to know to figure that out. You just have to zoom in, zoom out, right? Whatever you need to do to get that. Next. I'll do this from scratch as well. And I use the 3-letter notation. So I'm going to go QTV is 38. Right? So QTV, it's already there, never mind. But I wanted you to see that, right? UVP is right there, that's 60, so that's given. So what do I start with? How about Y? I'm going to start with vertically opposite. So that would be 60 degrees. It's vertically opposite, and those angles are congruent, right? So that's your reasoning. I'll do Z next. And I will use the straight line here. Or here, it doesn't matter. Right? I'm going to go 180 minus 60, and that's 120 degrees. So we put 120 in there. And I will go straight angle is equal to 180. Done. And then my next one is this one here. And that was probably a bit harder than you bargained for, maybe. I don't know. But what I will use here is focus on the parallel lines. And so this here becomes a transversal that connects them. See that? And so what do we know? Let me see here. Why? This is 60 degrees. I'll write that in. What do we know about this angle, right? This one and this one. What do we call those two big highlighted angles? CIA, right? Consecutive interior. Yeah? Okay. So that I know that these 3 angles here need to add up to 180. Okay? So I'll go 180 minus 60 minus 38. That gives me 82 degrees. And I will say consecutive interior angles must equal to 180 degrees if lines are parallel, if the transversal that connects those 2 lines is parallel. Obviously, we know that they're parallel. The markings are there. So this is 82 degrees. So that's my third and last step. So watch out for lines that kind of want to confuse you. Just stick to the basics, okay? Stick to the basics. Yeah, what else did you use?
I did 180 minus 60. Like I did that, but then because I made a triangle,
Okay.
that where I'm going to be alternating to.
Alternate interior. So you went this one and this one. These two?
No. I did the triangle, like in the middle. Like
This
next
one.
to Q, yeah. So then where Q is.
Okay, you found this one. And then you use, okay, yes. Yes. Did you get that? So Sadie found this, and then there's a new transversal, right? And followed this and realized that this angle right here is alternate interior to that. Yes. Yeah. So if you're not sure what to do in that case, just show me, like put arrow in here, right? You do the work and you tell me sum of triangle is equal to 180, right? Like just tell me what you've done and I'm very reasonable with that, right? I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's not in the box, therefore. Like I'm not gonna do that. I just want to guide you a little bit because I know that these are painful, right? I need to organize your thought a little bit or give you a space to do that. It's easier to mark, okay? All right, we're good with that. So yeah, that's good. Then this one, blast from the past, right? The original sphere has a volume. The new sphere has a volume. Determine a scale factor. So this is what I see quite often. So new, where's the new one? 375 cubic feet. How about you put down the units? Because I noticed that a lot of you didn't put the units down, and then you just divided it. It's like, ta-da, my answer is that. As soon as you see that, what should you be doing? Cube it. First cube it. First put the cube on top of k. Because that means that your next step will be to find k, you have to cube root that. And now you can get rid of the units, right? Once you've canceled them out, it's basically unitless. And I want to do this one more time. So what I do is this, 375 divided by 732, 42. I divide what's inside first. You can actually do the brackets if you like. Okay, and then I will go math 4 and copy that previous answer into that root. You see, you don't see the cube, right? It's hard to see, but there's a little 3 there. Okay, the index of the root is 3. Good old APR, right? Index of the root. Okay. So that is the scale factor. Let's see if we can turn it into a fraction. Nope. Can't do. So then that's what you use. These ones, I'll just give you the answer. This is 3219. And this other one is 7938. I told you that. All right, you're forcing my hand here. All right, so liters per hour. So 1 gallon has 3.79 liters. And 1 hour has 60 minutes. So let me see. Clear, 35. Sorry, I'm just going to make sure I get this right. Okay. I end up with liters. Minutes go with minutes, so I have liters and hours. Okay. So times 379 times 60. 7959. Oh. Jeez. Anyways. Yikes. Yeah, I'm gonna have to delete all my videos once I'm done with them because there's so many mistakes on there. I hope that doesn't throw you off too much because my brain is just all over the place sometimes. Okay, so you get to keep it. Sadie, you didn't hear that, but I told them already ahead of time. They get to keep it. The reason being is that there's a quiz on Monday, so I wanted you to have like one last good assessment.